Okay, all right, we are proposing a resolution for the method of construction for the schools that are listed here on the agenda.
Mr. Martin?
Yes, Madam President. Members of the board, Dr. Waddell. The Texas Education Code requires a district to determine what is the best construction method. We are requesting the competitive seal proposal as being the best method for this project.
Okay, I need a motion. Motion, Mr. Ferguson. Second, Ms. Fulton. Discussion?
We have been doing a lot of construction at risk. Any particular reason why we're doing seal proposal on this?
Mr. Ferguson, this mostly deals with a single trade. It's mostly mechanical renovations.
Okay. Any other questions? Concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? That is unanimous, Ms. Pearson.
And Mr. Martin, again, on proposal for a contract for mechanical design for the campuses that are going to be renovated.
Yes, sir. Currently, Estes McClure and Associates is our mechanical, electrical, engineering, plumbing design services that we use. We're just asking for them to work with us on the design of the project and specifications.
Okay, I need a motion to discuss. Motion, Mr. Ferguson. Second, Ms. Gregg. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? That is unanimous. Moving on to Finance, 2011 Budget Amendment, number 13, Fund 599.
Okay, and we have Ms. Mascalco to answer any questions.
I'll try to stand in for. Basically what this is we're just doing a budget increase for our interest expense and for the reimbursement for the IRS, and these are related to the BABS bond, the Build American bonds.
I need a motion to discuss. Motion, Ms. Fulton. Second, Ms. Foudy. Okay, I see some questioning faces. Mr. Ferguson.
This is a net zero impact to the budget, it looks like.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Questions? Okay. All in favor? That is unanimous. Moving on to Student Services.
We've had some missed instructional days. Mr. Buck's worked on that to try to get us through this as easy as possible, and we're asking that a waiver be approved.
The waiver does require board approval. It also requires that the Curriculum Council give approval for that. Mr. Winborn surveyed the Curriculum Council after I sent him an email describing what was required by the process. Curriculum Council voted 83-0 to move forward with the waivers. So I've submitted the missed instructional days waivers. We will have to make up 2 of 5 days. According to state law, we have to use our 2 built-in days. We will do that, but we're asking for waivers for the other 3.
I move that we approve both 4A and B together.
Motion, Ms. Latham. Second, Mr. Ferguson. Any questions?
Okay, well, we combine the questions there. You mean the Curriculum Council didn't want to go to school in July? Is that what you're...
Something like that.
So we've got the waiver application for low attendance on the table. Can somebody address that?
Yes, sir, I can address that as well. Most of you may have heard that Marcus High School had a Facebook threat, a bomb threat. I believe the date was on December 17th. That went viral, as they say, if you'll excuse the trite expression. However, the attendance on that particular day was slightly less than 75%, and the average daily attendance for Marcus High School is close to 96%. Anytime the school is 10% or more percentage points below the average daily attendance for the previous year, then we are able to ask for an exception for the low attendance for that particular day so that it would not count against them nor the district.
Does that, I mean, we would get the funding at 96%. Was it
We would
96%?
use funding at the average daily attendance for the previous year.
Okay.
Bolton?
Mr. Buck, do you happen to know what the timeline is for this approval when we hear back? Is it relatively quickly?
We don't actually hear back. There's a website that we go to and they post whether or not you have been approved for these waivers. After all of these missed days, at first the state said that they might not be as lenient in approving waiver day applications. Everybody hustled together and they had a meeting at Region 11, which I attended, and lo and behold, if the people of the state didn't reconsider that and say that I think they received a little bit of pressure and decided that maybe they would entertain missed day waiver applications. And so they did advise that we go ahead and move this through the process as quickly as we could, just in case they changed their minds. Normally, we would not submit missed instructional days due to inclement weather until later on, but at the advice of Region 11, I've gone ahead and submitted it this month.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions? Okay, the motion in a second. All in favor? That's unanimous, Ms. Pearson. Moving on to the consent agenda. In a conversation, Dr. Waddell, would you like to talk a conversation you had with our attorney after all?
Yes, you know, I asked our attorney, Mr. Luna, after the last meeting about reading into the minutes on the consent agenda, and what was the basis of that. And anyway, I asked him to check, and I wasn't sure that was necessary to do that for a consent item, and I asked him to look into that, and he wrote back to me and said that it was not required to do that. So it might make the consent agenda flow a little more smoothly. And if you choose not to do it, it's perfectly legal not to read that in.
Sorry, Ms. Fulton. I know you're very, very disappointed in that. So actually, I can do it the way I was trained.